Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and someone's linked to me yesterday something that has been put up. It's been re-upped by somebody. I'm going to link it down below for you guys. It is a video Vegan Gains apparently did. It appears to be real. I don't see any lip syncing or anything going on. It's clearly his voice. He might have made it as a joke. I'm not sure when he made it or if he was serious, but he pulled it down. I'm going to guess it's probably something he did more for attention. But it is another example of his sociopathic behavior, and I want to touch upon this for a minute. Rather than use this to go after Vegan Gains, I want to address this because I have a lot of vegan followers. Veganism is very big in the online and particularly YouTube fitness community. There's a lot of very big vegan channels out there, and I know that I have a lot of you who follow veganism, and I was a vegan for a little while. And this is something I want to address because there are problems within the vegan community. And this is one of the biggest potential conflicts that you guys run into, and it's something that people need to be aware of and think about. And it's because there are 4 types of people who are drawn to veganism from what I can see. In my own experience observing them, interacting with them, things I've seen in vegan communities online, because I was one for almost 6 months or so. And I did go to vegan meetings and talk to a lot of different vegans and people inside that world. And the first type of people who are there, and this is probably at least a fourth, maybe more, this is probably the biggest group of people who are drawn to veganism. They do so because of animal rights. They do so because they love animals, they care about animals, they're compassionate about animals, and they want to cause less suffering to animals. They're usually very sensitive people, very empathic people, very compassionate people who are drawn in because of that. So that's your one group there. That's your least crazy group for the most part. The second group of people who are drawn in are people who are drawn to it to mask their eating disorders. We see a lot of this, and this has been found in scientific literature. It's been noted by researchers that a lot of people with anorexia go into veganism as a way to mask their anorexia, because vegetarianism and veganism both here are more popular. They're socially acceptable in the mainstream, and therefore people go in and use, oh, I'm doing it for health purposes to be a vegan. And they're usually, these people, oftentimes their biggest thing, they tend to be very thin, and they tend to talk about the health benefits all the time. Those are people who are oftentimes the ones who are using it to mask their eating disorder. They're using it as a vehicle for their eating disorder, and they're using it as a way to mask their eating disorder and make it sound like they're doing it for health reasons or compassion reasons, when in reality it's just their actual eating disorder that's the cause of it, and they're using it to mask it from others in a more socially acceptable way, because anorexia isn't socially acceptable. I can think of at least one major vegan YouTuber who is borderline anorexic, who this is probably what's going on with that person. The third type of person who does it is basically the social justice warrior type person. They do it because they have a superiority complex, and they have the need to feel morally better than other people. This is the same type of person who goes and joins a religion so that they can have righteous indignation and look down on everyone who doesn't believe what they do. These are the preachy, judgy ones who come into it because they want to feel morally superior. It's really not about doing good for those people. It's not about helping others. It is about being able to judge other people. And again, you see this in religions also, to the exact same type of personality is drawn to religions for this reason. This person is drawn to veganism so that they have a way to wage a crusade and feel morally superior to other people, just like people use religions. The fourth type, and let's keep in mind, there can be overlap of these. Someone doesn't have to fall exclusively into one group. The fourth type is what we appear to see with someone like Vegan Gains. Now, he might talk about the other types because it's more socially acceptable to draw in groups, but then you have the true sociopath who's drawn to veganism, the exact opposite of group 1. The sociopath is drawn to this group as a way to mask the fact that they are a sociopath. And I've met several of these, and you can tell because of certain things they say. When they say things like, well, I don't really care about people. All humans can be exterminated for as far as I'm concerned. I'm concerned about the innocent animals. So what they do is they want to talk about the animals as if they're above people, and that is again so that they can find a social mask, a socially acceptable mask for their sociopathology, which means their inability to relate to and empathize with other humans. And again, I saw a lot of this. So I don't care. Animals are innocent and helpless than humans. And so I care more about them than human beings. And they're just like, I don't care if humanity dies off. And I've met a lot of those inside some of the vegan groups. So that is a sign of your true sociopath. They can't relate to other humans. They don't have real empathy for other humans. And again, this is what we see with some of Vegan Gains' behavior. This is the most dangerous type of the vegan, because they'll also pretend to be one of the other types as well. And the problem you have is that you have a community here to where we know from the research out there and the data, people who are sociopaths tend to like to prey on group number 1 there, the people who are empathic. And so what ends up happening a lot of times, you have a kind of a subculture here that forms, and then you have oftentimes a good way for the sociopath in the group to meet empathic people, because the largest segment of this group draws in people who are more empathic and sensitive than other people. Only about 5 to 10% of people fall into that group. But then that can also cause some real life drama, because it also allows the sociopaths to find empathic people easier so that they can prey on them, because we know that psychologically sociopaths are drawn to empathic people because they're more sensitive, they can hurt them easier. And they enjoy that, they get off to it. And particularly if they can get involved in an actual relationship with them, either a friendship or a romantic relationship, it oftentimes happens because of the similar lifestyle, it gives them a prey, but prey that they can hunt down emotionally and psychologically and drain them and hurt them. And so it's a bit of a concern when you see that veganism is used in that. And if a lot of you who are vegans out there, you need to be aware of those are the 4 real reasons people are drawn into this subculture. And again, it's very massive in the YouTube fitness community, so there's a lot of you out there. And you need to be aware that there are the sociopaths drawn into it purely as a way to mask their sociopathology because they don't like people. And if you're one of those really sensitive people, number one, and you're very empathic and compassionate, you need to be able to pick out group number 4 and avoid them at all costs. Not just avoid them on the internet, but definitely make sure that you don't form real life friendships and bonds and relationships with these people, because it could put you into direct harm. And again, the vegan gains thing reminds us very much as a real life example that you guys can see through YouTube fitness of what I'm talking about with group number 4. So just be aware of that. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. If you guys like this video, please remember to click like down below. I would appreciate it so much if you do that. Thank you. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, and share this with other people. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.